Maybe 2014. You never know.
You never know.
In the future.
Him and West Borland. We're getting back together. Finally.
Did you know West Borland? Did I ever tell you that West Borland was trying to get First to Last back together?
No, but
Did I
like
tell you that?
including Skrillex
including Skrillex, but everyone was on board except for Skrillex. He's just too big of a man.
He really is. He's doing his own thing.
Didn't we report that he was making like $40 million a year now?
Something like that. Was he on that list of rock stars?
Fuck. I don't know. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, he's not a lead singer anymore. So
I think he did the right thing for his bank account. He did the wrong thing for music in general.
It did. That's a good point.
Now he can like send his kids to college, and then his other kids, and then his illegitimate kids.
Yes.
Who find him 20 years from now.
Or you can just spend that money on hookers and drugs.
That would be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
But you know,
we never know what the future will bring. Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 023. I think we're in 023 now.
Should I keep on talking Super Bowls or skipped over that?
Who was the Super Bowl champion this
Super Bowl 23 was an easy one to remember. That would be the San Francisco 49ers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Part 2. Because they played each other for the first time in Super Bowl 14, and the 49ers won that one. And then that was Joe Montana's first Super Bowl. And then he won his third Super Bowl with Super Bowl 23.
Nice.
MVP Jerry Rice. Boomer Esiason, quarterback for the Bengals.
Oh, nice.
That was the year of the Icky Shuffle.
I don't know any of those words.
I've never heard those words in my life.
Were you speaking Chinese or
When he was
Japanese?
3 years old, he didn't know what the Icky Shuffle was. Your dad probably knew what it was.
Probably, yeah. Hey, check it out, guys. If you guys enjoyed listening to the show, please submit your questions, comments, or show topics via any outlet, whether it be on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Skinny with Mike and Adam, over on our YouTube page by searching the screen name, The Skinny Official, over on our Blogspot page at theskinny-with-mike-and-adam.blogspot.com. Help us spread the word about our show, and feel free to interact in any way you can. So first, we should probably head into the feed. All right, guys, so a little somber note, and I'm sure you guys are all aware of it right now, but we should probably talk about it at the top of the show. But in Connecticut,
Newton or something.
A young man in Connecticut, he's 20 years old. His name escapes me, but it's probably best that we never remember his name, because he
Douchebag.
Did a horrible thing. He was the son of a kindergarten teacher, killed his mother at home, and then he proceeded to go to the school where she worked and unloaded on a bunch of people, 20 people, which were kids, and it's just and as a father of a young child, a future father of a young child, it just breaks our hearts, and you can't help but you just can't help but send nothing but remorse to those people and the people surviving, especially so close to Christmas.
Yeah, that's.
Can you imagine having to get rid of those Christmas presents now? It's a horrible thing.
As much as you want to believe that, the whole Mayan apocalypse thing is just going to be like, we were all retarded, to anybody to think that.
Yeah.
And then, all these other tragic things happen around it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm ready to not watch the news anymore.
Yeah. So, we all want to point our blame on things. Fundies will point the blame at the gays.
Of course.
And, the secular rate rising. And
yes.
If there were religion in school, this would never... fuck you.
That totally would have happened.
Yeah.
If they were in the middle of prayer at the time.
And then, the far left liberals are like, well, we didn't have guns. Come on, no. If somebody wanted to kill somebody, they would have killed them no matter what. But
they would have used a knife.
Yeah. And then we're going to ban all knives now? So, we like to point the blame at, other things, but we got to be illogical sometimes. This was a sociopath, psychotic, who didn't have, he had mental issues, I'm sure, and he just wanted to hurt other people, and maybe that's the fault of society or the community around him, but we'll never know now. But the best thing to do for now is to place the blame where it belongs
on our podcast,
and don't
because of us.
Hey, legally we can't say that. Come on. Place the blame where it belongs, and don't sensationalize it, and don't glamorize it.
And listen to our podcast more, because we only promote
good things,
life,
yes,
and not hurting others.
Yeah.
So
if there's
more people listen to us, there'd be less crime in the world.
Exactly. And if you would listen to episode 1, you would know that we promote nothing but love and
right,
and togetherness and equality. And
except if you listen during the election times, there wasn't a lot of equality going on at that time.
Well, that's because of politicians, son.
That was all the politicians' fault.
All right. So like I said,
Stupid
it's been a hard time for the past couple of days because of the tragedy, and it's not the first time it's happened. Hopefully, I'm not going to say that, but let's
should be the last.
Let's hug our families close, and it really is a miracle. It's a dangerous world out there, and it's a pretty scary world, and it's kind of a miracle that we actually go to bed each day safe and sound. When you think about it,
it is.
So I mean, just remember to count your blessings and hug your family, hug your children, and just love one another and take care of each other, and
don't shoot each other.
And don't shoot each other, especially children.
The last time I heard Mike get this emotional was after the Dark Knight shooting.
Oh, God.
Well, it was just as bad.
It was just as bad, yeah. We can't trivialize that. So let's going to move on to to lighter topics.
Something a little bit more lighter.
Something fun. And this is kind of a callback to episode 1 also. But a list has been leaked, apparently, that has not been confirmed, but it's apparently the list of the 2013 Warped Tour lineup.
Yay!
And this got
only one band that I know of that has confirmed.
Yes,
which I am happy about.
Some of the bands on this list, which I'm going to have the link below. If you guys are interested, please check it out. It's if you don't know, the Warped Tour is a music festival that happens every summer, nationwide, and they're thinking of expanding over to Europe also after the summertime.
It is quite a fiasco.
Yeah.
To transport overseas.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can just tear it down and build it up city after city after city,
It's a lot of work and it takes a lot of manpower, but it's well worth it, and it's a wonderful time. Just don't steal people's phones.
Exactly.
Yeah. So check out the list below, and there's a lot of great bands. Adam, did you see any bands?
There was 1,000 bands on here, and a lot of them I really, really wanted to see. So, of course, number 1 on the list was A Day to Remember, which I've been listening to very much.
Paramore is also on the list.
Paramore, Sleeping with Sirens. Mike just bought me their discology.
Yeah,
Bring Me the Horizon is another one that I've heard of.
Yeah, they're an intense band.
They're intense. So maybe I'll listen to them.
Hardcore punk. They're from across the pond also.
Ooh,
so
okay. If
this is confirmed, maybe they're gonna be the headliners for the European Warped Tour. Who knows?
Escape the Fate.
No!
Craig Mabbitt, I'm going to get to see him live.
He's literally this tall.
You told me that. And as much as we dislike that band, I still feel like we should
give him a chance
see him live. Because, he
puts on a good show.
We enjoyed his last walk from Bless the Fall.
Yes.
I've been enjoying the Dead Rabbits EP.
My first Warped Tour I saw with Bless the Fall, Craig Mabbitt.
Yes.
And that was the very first.
I'm jealous of that.
That was the very first band I saw too. I walked in, I saw, holy shit, Bless the Fall's right now. And I watched them, and he jumped off the thing, and it was incredible.
I don't know if he can still jump off of things now.
Yeah.
Because he's 27 or something.
Oh, he's still fucking old. Yeah. But Chiodos is going to be
Chiodos!
Craig Owens Chiodos.
Yes. It's okay. It's okay that it's Craig Owens Chiodos.
It's okay. I'm learning to accept it.
I've enjoyed Craig Owens Chiodos.
Yeah, Woe Is Me, they're a pretty intense band. Motion City Soundtrack, they're pretty popular.
Anne
Berlin also.
Ooh, I still have all of their albums, but I haven't listened to them in a while now.
More on that later, Adam.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. All American Rejects, Mike.
12-year-old girls unite.
So that'll bring in a lot of 12-year-old girls.
A band that we saw, also we mentioned in the first episode, Oh Brother. They're going to be there.
Yes,
they're
they
a great
opened
band.
for Thrice. Yeah. And the Used are coming back.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. They have nothing better to do.
Hawthorne Heights is going to be there as well.
I've been looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
A lot.
Their recent albums have been very, very good.
Yes, and they're supposed to have part 3 of their EP trilogy probably sometime next year. I'm guessing.
I haven't been following, but it's supposed to be sometime this year.
So The Used is currently on tour with We Came as Romans.
Yes.
And both of them are on this list. And I've been listening to We Came as Romans.
And you've been
for the last 2 weeks.
Right?
And more on that in my sound off.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Silverstein also, they're an entertaining band. They're more of an entertaining band live.
Okay.
Yeah.
because I really couldn't get into their albums when I was listening.
Yeah,
to
and
them.
then literally dozens and dozens of more, and I'm sure
Lights. So is
oh shit, that's right.
Is
Lights.
Zoe coming to Warped Tour with us this year?
I know. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bring her
A
to
5-year-old to Warped Tour.
I'm not gonna bring her to a 100 plus degree heat just to see a 20-minute show.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and I can't believe I missed that. And also Enter Shikari. They're another band that I've been asking Adam to get into also to check out. But yeah, check out this list.
The Offspring. 1994 is coming back.
Also Flogging Molly.
Flogging Molly.
Real Big Fish.
I saw Flogging Molly open for Green Day at that one Green Day show I went to.
Oh, really?
In 05.
Did you like them?
They were good, yeah.
Yeah, they put on a great show.
Yeah, I'm sure
great,
they do.
Great show.
They're very like more of a punk Mumford and Sons, I guess.
Yeah, they're like Irish punk, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
AWOL Nation I have heard of.
Mm-hmm. I think they're like an indie band, I think.
Who else did I
Bowling for Soup?
Bowling for Soup. The current voice of Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. when he's not busy, entertaining children, he's on Warped Tour, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, check out this list. It's going to be an incredible
There's going to
lineup
be
this year.
1,000 billion people here.
Now the only
No Falling in Reverse.
Oh, unfortunately,
because they're going to be busy working on their next album, probably.
Luckily for us,
and being on probation, and
luckily for the music world, we're gonna have more Falling in Reverse soon. But yeah, last year's lineup was pretty great, and the only problem with having a lineup like this is that there's going to be the eventual overlap, and we're going to have to compromise eventually. We may have to compromise to see the bands that we actually do want to see.
Yes, there's going to be bands, two bands that we want to see that we will be playing at the same time.
Same thing happened last year, and we missed Taking Back Sunday.
Yes,
but we'll
make it work somehow.
Yeah, every date they have a different lineup and a different time schedule for each band. So hopefully we'll get lucky on our date. So let's check it out. So hey,
and the Paramore fans will be there, so there will be a lot of cute girls there.
Yes, a lot
we already know that.
Ladies.
Because these other bands aren't attracting the cute girls like Falling in Reverse.
Well, Escape the Fate also.
You think so? Are they like Falling in Reverse?
Well, they kind of like broho scene girl stuff, and they're split between the Falling in Reverse. There's the Falling in Reverse fans, and then there's the Escape the Fate fans.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And both are equally sprinkled with pretty girls.
Yeah.
That will girls be wearing shirts that say "I love Craig Mabbitt"?
Maybe.
Okay.
Because shitty music attracts pretty girls.
Okay. Very low self-esteem girls.
I guess so.
We'll take advantage of them while we're there.
Hey, so I can't remember if it was last week that we mentioned this, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. But Washington was the first state to legalize recreational marijuana. And the next state in line has been Colorado. Yeah. Just like in the last election, those two states legalized gay marriage.
Yay.
Hurrah.
Wait, they did?
Did they?
I don't know.
It was Washington. And
they're blue states.
Yeah, Colorado. So it was both of them, for sure. So, hey.
I can't keep track of which states have legalized it and which ones haven't.
So,
or if California has legalized it.
So, Adam and I are liberty-minded, so we believe in your freedoms to do to your body what you wish. So this is good news.
But justice officials warn that smoking the drug for fun remains against federal law.
What?
Underlining the confusion around the issue.
That's very true. I mean, there's a confusion. It is still federally illegal. So, I mean, smoke it in your home.
As soon as Obama breaks down my door, my Colorado door.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten in contact with my cousins who live in Colorado to see if they're enjoying it. They are like, parents of 2 children each.
So
I
do
don't
it in the
think.
So do it in the shed.
Maybe not. I don't know. You're allowed to do it in the shed now. You're allowed to do it
in the shed, in the middle of your bed, and on the head.
You can jump on my head. Bad jokes.
We're not good.
Edit this out.
We're not good at podcasting yet. 23 weeks in. But yeah,
will not smoke pot on your head.
Hopefully, other states will soon follow suit. It was according to more and more polls, more and more people are supporting legalization of marijuana.
We'll see what happens. Like, there's going to be a lot of people saying, like, they're killing everybody, and now they're smoking weed, and people are getting shot.
Marijuana is the cause of all death in America.
Yeah. They'll say, like, well, if Colorado hadn't legalized marijuana, then Columbine wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, exactly. And retroactively.
Yeah. Just saying it was the same state.
Whatevs.
Anyway, Kurt Cobain killed himself in Washington
because of marijuana.
Can you imagine? That might have been a whole different take on his life.
Yeah, no. Hey, speaking of Kurt Cobain, buddy, did you know that Nirvana got back together?
They did.
However, Sir Paul McCartney actually took over for vocal duties due to the original singer's handicap of being dead.
Well, they did say that Nirvana was as big as the Beatles in 1991.
Yes, that's what they say.
That's what they
I
said.
don't believe it.
You weren't really much alive, but at the time,
I think I was 5 years old.
I know. you weren't paying attention.
What's a mulatto?
You're a mulatto, son. You're a mulatto.
Oh. Whatever, Mom.
Anyway, Nirvana was as big as the Beatles were, so they called it Nirvana Mania, just like they had Beatlemania.
Exactly.
And you got to have a lead singer die in one way or another to be in that category.
Famous,
so, unfortunately, since Mike never died, our band didn't get popular.
Yeah, I'm almost 27 too, so I have like one more year.
One more good year to go.
Yeah, but the original members of Nirvana got back together for the benefit concert for Hurricane Sandy on 12/12/12.
The original members and the guy
the guitar tech
who joined the band before Kurt Cobain died, but then went on to be in the Foo Fighters with Dave Grohl. And the first one,
touring member.
Yes, yes, he was like their touring guitar player with Nirvana. He's actually on when Nirvana did SNL for the In Utero album. It's Pat Smear playing guitar, and I think he looked a little strange at that time. And then Dave Grohl took him to form the Foo Fighters, and so he was the other guitar player in the Foo Fighters for the first 2 albums. And then he quit, and then said every time they made an album after that, I really wished I was still in that band. Yeah. And then he joined the band again.
Translation: I wish I had money.
I wish I had money. I'm not making any money.
So they got together with Sir Paul McCartney to perform an original song called "Cut Me Some Slack," and Adam actually just listened to it like 10 minutes ago. And what did you think of it?
It was incredibly long.
It was a really long song.
So I'm not saying that Paul McCartney is going to team up with Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl and Pat Smear to make an album.
Ooh, the possibility is there.
Well, Foo Fighters are on an indefinite break. They've already announced that. Yeah. Chris Novoselic didn't win that Senate candidacy he had.
So they all have free time, basically.
He's taking a break from,
Have the Beatles been touring lately?
Not last time I checked.
Yes. Don't they have a dead member?
They have 2 dead members.
Right, they do. Never mind.
Ringo's got his own thing going.
Yeah,
the
Ringo's got a band.
All-Stars band. I don't know. His son plays drums. Paul McCartney is still the highest paid rock star in the world.
Whatever happened to those rumors of all the sons of the Beatles forming like the Beatles too?
Which is like Sean Lennon and George Harrison Jr.
Yes, that's a terrible fucking idea.
I never heard of that.
You never heard of that idea?
Sean Lennon was on Colbert Report on Thursday doing a Christmas song with him.
Cool.
Sean Lennon seems like an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Like he has a good sense of humor about the fact that he's Sean Lennon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks like Mike, but he's...
more Yoko Ono.
Yeah. And longer hair, and a little bit more talented on the guitar, if you ask me.
Well, I have both the article and the video of the performance that they did on 12/12/12 in the comments below, so feel free to check that out if you haven't already, or if you, I don't know.
And donate money if you're over 40.
Yeah,
because that's apparently who they were pandering to.
Why not?
If you're not over 40, you probably didn't know most of the people that were there.
So give to charity and give to Hurricane Sandy relief, and give to all the charities that are going to be helping out the people in Connecticut. And we're going to go and get our on the plate topic for this week. It's a very disappointing topic this week, but hey, check it out though. All right, so we're back, and this week we got a list of our top 9 disappointments. ...
Now, part of my disappointment was nobody even cared that my wife was on the podcast last week.
Well, if
nobody commented,
if your wife had promoted it herself, maybe would have jumped the viewership like 2.
Possibly. Maybe 3. You never know.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Dawn will not be joining us for this list. She's busy entertaining, and she's going to be cooking for
I asked her if she wanted to make a list of disappointments for the year.
Yes.
And she didn't get around to it.
Oh, it's all right. Maybe next list.
Yes. Disappointments of 13.
Yeah.
They're already on the way.
All right, so this list, not necessarily our most disappointing albums, our most disappointing movies. It's not really media specific, but it's just our our disappointments period for 2012.
And as Mike and I peruse the list of Grammy nominations that we'll talk about another week,
pretty much everything.
There's a couple of Grammy nominations on my list, so we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Hey, so do you want to start us off with your number 9?
My number 9, which was something that wasn't too bad, but it just kind of like bridged the cusp of disappointments into things that I enjoyed. But I'm going to go with one of Mike's happiness things from last time.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Mumford & Sons' new album, Babel.
Okay.
Because, again, I liked it, but I didn't like it that much because I liked the first album so much.
Yes. So you just didn't think it lived up to the first album then?
Not so much.
Okay.
And
that's
it's,
fair.
Again, Grammy nominee number 1.
Yeah. That's fair.
For my list.
That's fair, though. That's a fair assessment of the album.
Okay.
It really did not live up to the first album, but not a lot of albums do.
Okay.
All right, so my number 9 is the sequel of a book that I really liked, and they turned that into and David Fincher turned that into a movie that I really liked. So I decided to, and maybe I'll start, because since they're going to make 2 and 3 of this book, I should probably check out on that. But there's The Girl Who Played with Fire by Stieg Larsson, and I didn't like that book at all.
No,
it was so.
Because they did The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, and
was that this year or last year?
2011.
11?
No,
10,
I think it's late 2010.
9.
I think it was the winter of
Oh
2010.
wow, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
but this is the sequel.
Yes, this is part 2 of 3.
The Girl Who Played with Fire.
Yeah, and then part 3 is like The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, and I'm not going to be reading that at all. I'm not going to even bother with that. But this book is so slow paced, and like there's really maybe like 75 pages of real story in like a 400 page book.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
the rest of it is just walking through a jungle or something.
No, there's literally like half a chapter of the lead heroine, Lisbeth Salander, the lead heroine in the movie, like going to IKEA to shop for her new apartment, literally, and they detail every single. I know that's a writing style.
I walked up the stairs. A vague smell of Swedish meatballs filled the room.
I decided to get a $1.50 hamburger.
I took the first bite. It was good. I took the second bite. Not as good. Then I thought, I sure would like to start a fire in this IKEA. There's a lot of wood around.
Holy crap. Did you read the book too, Adam?
Oh my God.
It's verbatim.
So I said to myself, I need to go to Home Depot and buy me some matches and lighter fluid after this. And then I took that third bite. Not nearly as good.
Yeah, but the book is based, and I know that's a good writing style. A lot of people like, having every minute detail because it makes them feel like they're in the story. But I like that as well. But this is too much, and you're detailing parts that are not relevant to the story in any way.
Yes, you keep reading because you think something is going to call back.
Holy shit! Is there something in the furniture? Did somebody poison the couch?
Flurgenstein. Insert prop A into exhibit B.
So stupid. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that. And it ended on a cliffhanger, and now I don't even give a shit.
No.
It's whatever. I'll watch the movie.
Why not?
I'm sure David Fincher will do a better job.
Watch it on the internet for free at some point.
Whatever. So number 8 for you.
Number 8 was another really big disappointment for me for this year. And Mike and I have made a lot of comments about this song over the year of the podcast.
Okay.
But that would have to be Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen.
You can't be disappointed if you weren't expecting anything from it.
I was very disappointed by this song, even being infiltrated into my ears.
Yeah.
Now, the upside of it was looking at pictures of her.
She's very pretty.
Year. And I've been very happy with her exterior.
Yes.
As for her follow-up single, I haven't heard that yet. If there's one.
There's that song she did with Owl Nation something.
Owl City?
Owl City, yeah, there we go.
Which is just one guy on a keyboard?
One guy on a keyboard. But that song's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. If you like pop music.
I don't.
Okay.
Moving on.
So you're not gonna like it. All right. So number 8 for me was a movie that I saw alone with my daughter because my wife was busy or doing hair or something. But I took my daughter to see it because she wanted to see it. She was a fan of the first 2 movies, and I wasn't. But even though this movie was the best of the 3, it was still disappointed by it because you can't make shit look any better than shit at the end of the day because it's just shit. But that was Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted.
Ooh, a disappointing album.
It's a disappointing movie for a disappointing franchise. with disappointing story and disappointing writing.
Like Ice Age 5.7?
Exactly, just like the Ice Age movies. I'm not going to go too much into it. I mean, it's schlock. It's just pandering to kids, and it's nothing special.
This is the
about
problem
it.
with having a 4-year-old in your house.
Yeah, well, you get some good movies out of it. Like my favorite movie last year was this year was Paranorman.
Oh, that's right. There was quite a few of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of family. Wreck-It Ralph I loved a lot, and I can't remember the other movies I saw, but there's a lot of movies that I saw with my family, and I loved them a lot.
Referred to last podcast.
Yeah, but one of those movies was Madagascar 3, but, whatever. It was a movie, and I paid for it. My daughter liked it, so it was worth the money then.
Go for it. Okay. She'll remember it for life.
Yeah, she sure will. Number 7, Adam.
Number 7 was another phenomenon of 2012 that I really hope disappears in 2013.
Uh-oh.
But the words, oh,
no.
mean anything to you, Mike?
You mean the greatest song ever written by man?
Hot.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest disappointment ever to happen.
Are you just disappointed on how much it blew up?
I'm still surprised that he thinks that it got popular because he's like good.
No,
or
even
he's an
he
artist.
knows it's just a fun song that people.
He got famous because he's a fat Asian wearing sunglasses and a tuxedo, dancing like he's riding a horse.
But the song,
no,
the song
that is all.
Is a parody of people who dress like that.
Nobody is noticing that. It's just
people are just dancing on their horses.
Exactly. Now, the best part of that video, again, I've told Mike this, was the very attractive redheaded Korean.
Yes,
in the video
who
next to him,
sprinkled throughout.
Oh man, I'm not like just.
You want to Oprah her Gangnam Style?
I think that means have sex with her, right?
You want to have sex with her vagina with your penis inside of her.
I do.
Yeah,
and you know me, I'm not like going crazy over Asian chicks like some of
you
our
like
friends.
women's.
Yes, but she made me want to open
Eat
myself
a lot
up.
of fried rice.
Yes. But that was a very big disappointment of the year. And Mike said I had to sit down and watch the video, and I did once. And it was not anything special.
Okay, Oppa Gangnam Style is a good song the same way Casa de Mi Padre is a good movie.
Okay.
You see where I'm going now?
I think so.
It's just in words that you can understand.
Right.
All right, so my number 7 is an album from a band that I was very much looking forward to. They're an indie band, and I was a big fan of their first 2 albums, and then this album came out, and there was not a single song on it that I appreciated or liked at all.
Oh.
And that was Neck of the Woods by Silver Sun Pickups.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I didn't even... I heard 2 of their singles, and I was not impressed.
Not at all.
And I didn't even ask Mike to purchase it
I was really looking forward to this, too, because they write some really catchy, some really songs, like really infectious songs.
I enjoyed Swoon.
Yeah, Swoon is a great album, actually.
And I listened to Swoon again thinking like I should get myself ready for the next album, and I was like, I'm not even like that into this band to care that much.
I'm in with Swoon.
I should probably take them off of my likes on Facebook. I
Aw.
still get posts from them.
Yeah, they kind of Instagram their one of their, I think the girl in that band is pregnant or something. Like, hey, look at her pregnant belly. Like, okay,
It's being covered by a bass.
Instagram. Yeah. All right, so number 6 for you, right?
Okay, number 6. Moving on from Silver Sun Pickups would just be 3 simple letters and a punctuation mark. For a band called F-U-N.
F-U. Yeah, that band sucks, dude.
Tonight we are young.
Well, what about tomorrow? Are we still young, Adam? Tomorrow in the morning?
bad part about this band, like I could have handled it hearing them sprinkled on K-Rock every so often, but they performed on every single show that I watch.
Also Pepsi commercials?
They're sure. And other related media. So I saw them on Fallon, I saw them on Conan, I saw them on Colbert doing other songs besides
Colbert shouldn't even have musical guests.
He went through a white boy indie band a couple of weeks for the year.
That was very Republican of him.
And he interviewed them, and they were just hipster douches from what I could tell.
They do dress like they can't perform unless they have their vests on.
Yes, pretty much.
Like a band that Adam has played with in the past.
Bolts,
Yeah,
yes.
the Bolts.
So, it just he seems like the kid in choir who happened to kind of like rock music.
Yeah, he sort of likes rock music.
Then they put him together
like
with
guitars.
a bunch of guys with plaid shirts and black rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Which Mike's not wearing plaid shirt today.
Not today.
But other than that,
Last week I was.
so if
I should be in fun
disappears from my life, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think the music world would benefit much from that. All right,
Yes.
so number 6 for me again was another album that I was looking forward to. I don't know why I was looking forward to it, because the band hasn't super impressed me with their handful of records, but that was Vital by Anne Boleyn.
Oh yes, they
Yeah.
did have a new album this year, did they?
Oh yeah.
You told me about them, and I vaguely remember you saying you enjoyed it, but maybe not that
Here's the
much.
thing about Anne Boleyn. They're all talented musicians, and this lead singer is an incredible lead singer. He has such a great range, and he's such a good singer on every song that he's in. And
Not so much live, but maybe I was just seeing them
Really?
on a bad miking night.
yeah, might have been. But the studio recordings are incredible. So, but
See, and they have like what? How many albums was this for them? now?
this is like number 6.
Six?
This is their
Only?
6th studio album.
Okay.
They've had like compilations and stuff, but which still
I
has
have
like
so many of
original-
their albums on my iPod,
Yeah.
and I tried listening to them so much, and I was just like, "Oh, there's a song here," and then, "Oh, there's a really good song here."
Yeah.
and I just couldn't.
If that band had a
grasp
greatest
it.
hit, to be the greatest
I
album
think
ever.
so. Yeah.
But yeah, they have like they have good songs sprinkled throughout, but they haven't. To me, they have yet to release a good album, and I thought this was going to be it. But maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Oh well.
They're still young. They're all like 26 or something.
Yeah.
So, 6 albums and you're 26, you're on a
Oh,
roll.
well.
Whatever. Wasn't there a band that I was talking about one day that, like, if you just got rid of a lot of the fluff, you could have a really good
Oh
album?
shit! Yeah, you were talking about that. I can't
Which
remember
one
what
was
it
it?
was.
Duh.
Wasn't it Date to Remember? Because you didn't like their poppy stuff.
No, I like majority of their stuff.
Okay.
There was a couple of tracks that I didn't really like at all.
Oh well.
But-
It'll come to you.
Whatever. Okay, so moving on.
Number 5.
Number
Adam.
5 for me, non-music related now. Number 5 most disappointing thing of the year would have to be the USC Trojans football season.
Ah. How are
They
doing
started off
far?
so promising. Well, the season's over now.
Oh, it is.
But they finished 7-5 for the year.
That's not too bad.
It was a very disappointing year, judging that they started off ranked number 1 in the country.
Okay.
And in college football, if you lose more than 1, sometimes 2 games, the season's over.
You're done, son.
Yeah. So they finished. They weren't even ranked by the end of the season.
Okay. I take that back then.
They finished 5-4 in the conference, which is really bad because they lost important games to like Arizona, UCLA, which really was sad. They lost to Stanford, and it was just really, really bad. They lost to Notre Dame in the last game, which
They
is
lost
another
to
big
Grudger
rivalry.
College also, and University of Phoenix.
Oh, and they lost to Oregon. That was the other
Oh, really?
big loss.
Ah.
So that was an incredible game. It was like 62-51. There was no
Holy
defense at all in
shit.
that game. It was just like, I think Oregon
Here, have another
scored.
touchdown. Why not?
Oregon had 11 possessions in the game. They scored touchdowns on 9 out of the
Holy
11,
shit.
and they had 1 punt and they had 1 interception.
Holy crap! That'd be
And,
great
yeah,
to watch in the
there was like
stands.
no stopping their offense the entire fucking game.
Wow.
And then Barkley would get the ball back for the USC, and they would go down and score a touchdown, but they had to punt like 4 times as opposed to the rest of it. So
that sounds like it would be a great game to watch though in the stands.
yeah, it was fun. It made you think that they had a shot. So they qualified to be in the Sun Bowl this year, which will be played on December 31st against Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where the Sun Bowl is, but I'll probably watch it
It's in
for
Guatemala
nostalgia.
somewhere. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Just get it out of the way and just go play your game.
It like Matt Barkley. This was his senior season, and in his freshman season, which was the last time they qualified for a bowl, it was something called the Emerald Nut Holiday Bowl.
Aw.
And they won that game, and that
Yeah.
was exciting and everything. But I feel like that's where they're at now. So
Oh, better luck next
onward
year
and
then.
upward to next year, with Max Whittick will be the quarterback
Nice.
next year because Barkley will move on to the NFL.
Yeah.
Probably
Probably suck more there.
probably will end up like on the Browns or who else is really bad this year? Jacksonville
The
or
silly
something
nannies.
like that. The Rhode Island silly nannies. Yes.
Okay, so
disappointing, none to say.
number 5 for Mike is an album that Adam has grown to love. I still don't see it, and I
Uh-oh.
continue to give it a chance. I've gave it a chance. Like, I should listen to it 3 times this past week in preparation for this list.
Only like 3 times total,
Only
or
3 times this week.
In the past
I've listened to it like
Uh-oh.
a dozen times so far.
Crap, are we gonna fight about this now?
We are gonna fight about this, but it's
Okay.
The Edge of Reality by the Dead Rabbits.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
right? Yeah. Well, so if we haven't already talked about this band to death already on the show, but it's the lead singer of Escape the Fate, former lead singer of Bless the Fall, whose first album, which he was recorded on, was an incredible album that we both agreed with. And
His Last Walk.
Yeah, His Last Walk. And I think we only continue to support his new releases based on nostalgia.
I think so. Even with if Escape the Fate has a new album this year,
Yeah. Oh,
we'll probably listen to it.
Oh, also the unofficial release of The Word Alive, that when they leaked the...
That's right.
Yeah, which you haven't listened to yet. It's an incredible album and you're going to love it too.
Okay.
If
Buy
you
it
love-
for me and bring it next week.
Yes, if you love this, if you love Edge of Reality, you're going to...
I
cream your pants
I
over
really
it.
gave that like a 7 out of 8.
Yeah.
I know that I liked 7. Like,
I think I like maybe 2 or 3 songs on that thing.
okay.
Which is, I guess it's kind of good because it's an EP and it's not that many.
It's much better than Escape the Fate in my opinion.
is.
But I haven't listened to Escape the Fate in a long time now.
You don't want to. It's fine.
Since the beginning of the year, and I'll probably listen to them again to
Yeah.
get ready for Warped Tour.
Yeah.
But-
So maybe one day this band will click in my head, but it has been this year, so.
Well, it's
Whatever.
not like they're going to be releasing full lengths and
No.
going on tours or anything. It's
until
just a one-off.
Craig Maverick gets kicked out of Escape the Fate, and then he's gonna have this full time.
It's
and-
bound to happen.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, Dead Rabbits got back together. Finally! The first EP was not that good, but
The
the full length was incredible.
The guitar tech from Attack Attack and Craig Mabbitt together at last.
Teamed up with the guitar tech from Thrice.
There you go.
Yes.
So number 4, Adam.
My number 4, going back to albums now, would have to be the new Circus Survive album.
Oh, okay.
Violent Waves. Mike and I debated this quite a bit
Yes.
over the past few months since
Uh-huh.
it came out. And we both kind of settled that it was not that fun to listen to.
No. What is
I
it-
can't remember what number I gave it on
I
the
don't think
podcast, but
I don't think you reviewed that.
I did review
you?
it. It was one of
Okay.
my first reviewings.
I'll give $1 to the.
It was a while back.
I'll give $1 to the listener who can find out what that score was and comment below.
Yes.
And
I'll
personally
give them
it to
another
you.
$1.
There you go.
It's probably back on podcast number 15 or 16.
No. That's the listener's job to find out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. Just listen to them, please.
Yeah, I mean, you first listened to it and you thought it was like pretentious at first.
I went back and forth like, is it the most incredibly artistic album of all time, or is it just pretentious BS that nobody wants to listen to anyway?
It's very different from their previous
Yeah.
albums. But keep in mind, this is totally self-produced and self-released. They released this on. They got funded on Kickstarter
It's pretty good.
for this, and
And it still charted well. I think it opened at number 11.
Well,
on
when
the
you sell a
Billboard
full-length
charts.
album for $5, it's gonna sell.
Yeah.
And they got
Man,
they
I
got
paid
100% of the
I paid
profit.
at least that much for it, I think.
At least you paid 5,000% less than that.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
so I can't even go back and listen to it. I put it on my list and I was like, I should listen to it again.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to. I have other stuff to listen to.
All right, so I think Adam and I are soulmates because my number 4 is "Violent Waves" by The Circus Survive.
Excellent. So we've already talked about
We
that.
already talked about. So what was your favorite Circus Survive record?
Definitely
They've had
On Letting
4
Go.
full lengths. Okay, the first one then.
Wait, no.
No,
the first
On
one was Juturna.
Oh, Juturna, On Letting
Go is my
and then
favorite one, and I
Blue
like
Sky Noise.
I like Blue Sky Noise, but not as much as the other one.
I don't like Blue Sky. I don't like the second half of Blue Sky Noise.
I don't really care for Juturna very much either.
Yeah, I like the first half
But-
of Juturna. The second half is kind of slow, but On Letting Go from start to finish is my
very,
favorite
very
as well.
good.
It's
Yes.
very good, and that's how I judge the rest of their releases. The band itself, I mean, I listened to a podcast recently with Anthony Green in it, and he said Violent Waves is his favorite.
Well, of course,
I
because
guess
he's still
artis-
promoting it.
Exactly. So whatever.
Whenever you find a band to say like, our new album is not my favorite, I like the other ones
Yeah.
better. I mean, I will stop
buy
podcasting.
I will buy every album that band's released
Legitimately.
with real money.
Yes.
If someone says that. Yeah. Speaking of an album, I'll get to that later.
Are
But
you doing
number
number
3 for you, Adam.
Okay, number 3 for me would have to be the new Muse album
Ah.
called Second Law. We made a
Grammy nominated.
Grammy nominated. See, I forgot to mention Fun got Grammy nominated
That's
for
right.
Best New Artist and a whole bunch of shitty categories.
I don't know why.
So Second Law got nominated for, I think, Best Hard Rock Album. And
That
yeah,
doesn't make
other
any
than
sense.
like maybe 2 or 3 songs, I mean, it's really not that listenable. I mean, the first 2 Muse albums I do very much enjoy.
Yes.
I think the first one was called Absolution. The next one was called Black Holes and Revelations.
Yes.
Which are very good albums. The third one I didn't care for, and I can't remember the name of it now.
It sucks so bad you forgot about it.
I mean, he just like, it just turned into French music after a while, and then like the last 3 tracks are just like operas.
Yeah.
It's
rock operas?
It's basically 15 minutes of orchestra music with no words at all, so I don't know what there's going on
That is pretentious garbage.
Yes. So I was really looking forward to Second Law. I saw them perform on SNL, and I wasn't too impressed. But then that ended up being probably one of my favorite songs, which I think was their first single.
Yeah.
But the rest of the album, again, I haven't even gone back to listen to it again to reacquaint myself.
Yeah.
So
That's why it's so high on your list, I
yeah,
guess.
and I think I'm going to let Muse go after this.
Yeah.
And
For
that's
the best.
okay with me. Yeah.
It's best to start, expanding your horizons now. Get new bands. Replace the shitty ones.
Right.
Yeah. Just like friends in your life.
By podcast number 30, I will have replaced Mike, I guess.
I am a shitty friend. I really am. So number 3 for me is the latest album of a band that I continue to keep giving chances, and I probably will continue to give chances to, because, again, for nostalgia purposes, I guess, because they wrote 2 of my favorite albums of all time, and this album is Vulnerable by The Used. It's such a bad album.
I didn't even put them on the list because I completely forgot about them.
Wow, that's pretty high on your list. Yeah.
And then again, I was like, I did give them like a 50-50.
Yeah.
So it was like, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't.
It
that
wasn't
good.
as bad as Artwork. No.
See,
You liked
Artwork
Artwork.
is still like.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't as bad as Lies for the Liars.
Yes,
That
I
was
did not
the
like that one.
low point of the band.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the other 3 albums from them I enjoy.
I think
And
Artwork,
Vulnerable was like good enough.
Yeah, I
in
think
my opinion.
Artwork and Vulnerable are kind of on the same level. They still have not been able to reach that peak that they had back in like 2002, 2003 when they first came out, and they had that.
What was the name of their second album? I always forget. I always want to say In Fear and Faith, but
In
it's
Love
not.
and Death.
In Love and Death.
Yeah,
okay.
close. Soon there'll be a band called In Love and Death, and it's going to confuse us all. Yeah, so
That's a very, very good album.
Yeah, they hit their peak at like 2004 with the release of Take Me Away.
Take It Away.
Take
Take
It Away. That's right.
Yeah.
Take Me Away. Is a
And
love
see,
song.
the album version that I have, like the
Yeah,
track
it's all
listing is
messed
still
up.
all jacked up.
Yeah.
So, and it's really just Take It Away is like number 10. Pretty much the rest of the album is the same.
It's the opener for the studio release. Yeah, so they hit their peak there, and they were right there with Mike Kim. They were kind of like doing that cross promotion.
They were making love with each other.
Making love with
passionately.
each other.
Gerard Way and
then they got
Burt
divorced.
McCracken. And then they got divorced.
Divorce is ugly.
And the kids are the real victims in a divorce,
Yeah.
and that's where we lost out. Because then they made In Lies for the Liars, which we
pretty
hated.
much a fuck you to
And-
Gerard Way.
Yeah, and
Come on, quit being petty, band members.
and My Chemical Romance made Danger Days, which was
a fuck you to the fans.
exactly. Anyway, we were the real victims there.
Yeah.
They made millions off of it.
Do you
so
think
good for
they'll
them.
ever have another great album, or you think they're kind of close to being done?
I think they have the potential, depending
Yeah.
on their drug and heroin and alcohol use, I guess.
Keep doing drugs used.
Like I said, Vulnerable, I gave it a 50-50.
It's going in the right direction.
I think so. I think they need to take a break.
Yeah.
Because like they've been tour. They were on Warped Tour last year. They are on tour now. And then if they're going to do Warped Tour again next year,
Oh boy.
it's like, yeah, they need to take a little me time
And another
to
thing
remember why. they're
Another
in
thing
a
I didn't
band.
mention is that both Vulnerable and Artwork had songs on it that felt very forced, and I think that has a lot to do with the pressure of like, oh, we gotta have a record out, and they're not on a label
think
anymore
so.
because they're doing self promotion just like
Right.
Survive.
That's what they said about Vulnerable. Like, oh, we're finally doing our own
Yeah.
thing.
It's gonna
and then
be
you
great.
listen to it and you're like,
No more
yeah.
constraints by the studio. Like, okay, and it still sucks. Oh well. Get
Well,
your shit together, Burt
there you
McCracken,
go.
and write me a good record. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So number 2 for you, Adam.
Number 2 is a trio of albums.
Ah!
I just let it merge them together. I've been Yeah, I even just listened to the podcast where I reviewed Dose.
Yeah.
And I just I can't even go back and listen to them.
You can hear the horror in your voice.
Yes, and I haven't even listened to Trey yet. It just barely
you just already know.
It came out this week, right? Like, or earlier this week on the 11th,
officially the 15th.
Yeah, so I'm going with Uno Dos Trey by Green Day. I mean, I've listened to Trey once.
If Bono was in this band, the next album would be Catorce.
Oh, so true. So, yeah, there's nothing interesting about those 3 albums unless you really still like Green Day that much.
There's no reason to like Green Day this much.
Like I said, American Idiot is great.
You can have your nostalgia all you want, but, quit defending bad albums. That's all I ask.
It's basically they just decided to let go of what American Idiot was and what 21st Century Breakdown was, and just went back to let's just get together and play music. And to some people, they'll say like, "Hey, good, Green Day's back to being Green Day." In my mind, I'd like to when Green Day wasn't Green Day.
Yes,
I
but
guess.
when you take more than 2 hours to write a full-length album, it's not going to turn out very good.
So I really feel like these 3 albums are just their retirement. Like they're saying, here, get these 3 albums. We don't want to make music for a while.
Yeah, end on a low note, right?
Yeah, and they'll tour until the end of 2014, and then
they need to break up because Billy Joe needs to go to rehab.
Well, he's still in rehab. That's why they released Trey early. Man. I know. So
not get out like 10 days later.
I can't follow this band anymore. So I think I'm going to let them go, and they're definitely going to take a break from albums. I mean,
I hope so.
21st Century Breakdown came out in 2009. These ones came out in 2012.
Yeah. It's
going to be like 8 years until the next album.
Hopefully, because sometimes a break is what bands need.
And they're going to be in their 50s at that point. So I can't imagine them still like being relevant by that time. But whatever.
Are they going to have like 50-year-old punks still going to Warped Tour and
oh my God,
bringing their grandkids?
If the Offspring can be at Warped Tour now, Green Day can be at Warped Tour someday.
Offspring are going to be going to Warped Tour until they die. Remember the 90s? La 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 la.
Oh my God! I never ever wanted to see that band live.
Oh, well, we got to make sure to walk around that stage. All right, so number 2 for me is a television show that I've been following for a while now. Adam recommended the show several years ago, and I've been following it ever since.
Late Night with Jimmy Fallon?
No, they're a constant disappointment for me.
Yes, they are.
But they're in their final season now, and it hasn't been... It started off kind of strong. It kind of wilted away, and I don't think it... I'm kind of holding out for the season finale, whenever that is, but it's The Office.
The Office.
The Office.
So really we're just talking about from September through now.
Yes, pretty
has
much.
been a disappointment.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, because
or you're disappointed that the series is coming to an end?
I'm disappointed in the quality of the episodes.
Okay. I didn't even consider that, but that would definitely be up there. I still laugh from time to time.
Yeah, it has some funny stuff, but it's becoming a chore to tune in.
Watching Ed Helms get angrier and angrier is not funny anymore.
Well, he's a badass now.
I guess so. And if you want badass, go watch Jeff Who Lives at Home.
Yeah.
And he's a total douchebag badass with a goatee and looks like Satan. And if you want to watch him be pissed off for an hour and a half and Jason Segel be crazy and smoke weed, then watch that movie. That would be like my number 10 of this list. But yeah, I'm ready for The Office to end. I'm ready for How I Met Your Mother to end.
I'm looking forward to the season finale because I think that they might have something big planned. They're kind of alluding to it. That this whole thing with what's that guy's name who's married to the redhead? Jim, yeah. He has that whole thing with his new job and everything, and it just doesn't seem to be working so well. Maybe we'll see what happens. They're my number 2 because I'm really disappointed in this season, but it has a chance to redeem itself and maybe be number 3 on my list.
I'll probably save those season finales for my disappointments of 13.
There you go.
Next year.
Okay, so
my number one disappointment for the entire year, since finally my dream came true,
is Mike's friendship.
No. Would have to be the Chicago Cubs season.
Oh, again.
Of 2012.
As always, right?
Not to say this won't be number 1 for 2013, but yes, the Cubs, I watched the first week, And then I took a break, and then they got really good in June.
Yeah, you were telling me that. Yeah,
they won maybe like 15 out of 20 games and went on like this 12-game winning streak, I think, in June, and then it was over from there.
Yeah.
So I got to see them at Wrigley back in May. They beat the Dodgers, which was fun. I had a great time and froze my ass off in the bleachers at Wrigley Field in May. But the Cubs finished 61 and 101.
Nice
For the season, so that was awesome. That not as bad as the Astros.
Oh, what did they
still finished like they only won about 50 games, I think, for the whole season. Oh. But the Astros,
hey, it's a double-digit number, man.
The Astros are moving out of our division to be in the Angels division next year.
Okay.
So the Cubs will officially be the worst team in the division. And
come on, losers! And
the league if they keep this up. So that'll be fun. And now I'm like looking at all the trades and who they're picking up. A bunch of people I've never ever heard of in my life. Like they've gotten rid of people I never heard of. They're bringing in people I've never heard of. It's just we can't go anywhere but up from here. So here's to 2015 when they will beat the Miami Gators, just like Marty McFly predicted.
Yay!
Remember when he goes into the future and Back to the Future 2 and the Cubs win the World Series in 2015?
Go Gators.
And over Miami.
Yeah.
And there is a Miami team. They're in the National League.
But they aren't the Gators, though.
They're not the Gators. They're still the Miami Marlins.
Yeah.
And they're pretty terrible, too. But, yeah, the Cubs season was
two terrible
was
teams
bad.
on a World
Johnny
Series.
Sins can't save them right now.
Johnny Sins.
I swear that guy looks like him. I'm sick of seeing that guy.
Please Google Johnny Sins, and yes, you're welcome.
And you will enjoy.
You're welcome, audience. All right, so
I know his abs anywhere.
I know that dick anywhere. I swear to God, I don't even see this. I don't even see his face.
Mm-hmm.
I know him anywhere.
Pretty much.
But number one for me, I'm going to put on my pundit hat, and I'm going to say the entirety of the 2012 election season.
I figured Mike would add in. I couldn't bring myself to bring up anything political.
Yeah,
but
this is
I figured Mike would.
This whole fucking process from start to finish. The whole fact that they kicked out Gary Johnson for not polling enough, even though he was not in the polls in the first place. The Republicans kicked him out, and then they're
get out.
And then they're dicking around Ron Paul, and then
kicking him out like he's an illegal immigrant in Arizona.
Fucking Republicans. and then they dicked around Ron Paul. Didn't even invite him to the Republican National Convention.
Nope.
Well, it wasn't a total disappointment because Gary Johnson went on to make history in the Republican and the Libertarian Party and get the most votes out of any Libertarian candidate ever. That was cool.
I've ever heard of.
Yeah, exactly. So he made some history there, and then so the Republicans didn't end up. They chose Romney, and he was one of the worst candidates ever versus one of the worst. He
really was. Yeah. Now I'm like looking back, like why was I so worried and thinking that he could actually win?
And didn't I tell you it was going to be a landslide? Or not a landslide, but it was going to be like no contest.
It was an electoral landslide, that's for sure.
Exactly.
So
don't worry about it. You just got to know.
I know.
You just got to know about voting patterns. That's how you.
Well, and I said that about McCain. I knew McCain was going to lose badly as soon as Sarah Palin showed up.
Exactly. Yeah.
But this time, I wasn't sure. I was
a lot of people hate
really
Obama.
Could win. Yeah, and Fox News has done a great job of skewering him.
Of course.
I was just like, man, Romney could actually win, and all the polls always say it's 50-50, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Yeah.
So. I don't
it could be Obama versus like Satan baby. it's 50-50. This country is split down the middle.
Yep.
They need to bring this country together again. Versus Satan baby.
As soon as the president affects me personally,
you're not gonna care.
Then
you're just gonna vote green, and
I'll vote whatever. Or not, I don't know.
Yeah, or
we'll
not.
See where I am in 2016.
Yeah, so go 2016, and I hope, and I think this whole thing, this is the beginning of the end. I've said this before of the Republican Party.
Yeah,
it pretty much is. Well, as it is, so far,
they need to do something badly.
They need to stop being fundy assholes and start being more, liberty minded.
And stop.
Like it used to be.
Talking about rape being somewhat legitimate. Or
rape is a woman's fault, Adam. You need to understand that.
I should have known. I just loved that graph on Colbert where it was like support of rape, and then it was just like climbing, and then it hit 1920.
Oh,
it crashed down to 0.
It's so true.
So anyway,
So
yeah,
this was a very disappointing list for us.
yeah.
How
That's okay.
how does the year stack so far for you?
I'm looking forward to number 1, Baby.
Yes, you
Number
made
2,
you mated with a woman this year, so
I-
it can't be that
I
bad.
finally mated with a woman. I lost my virginity, made a baby.
And there's proof now. There's proof.
There's proof of that.
And you had a doctor tell you that your sperm is the best,
The best
sperm.
sperm.
A medical licensed doctor told you that. That was
Exactly.
awesome.
Well, she told my wife, who relayed the message to me, and I relayed to everybody.
Why wouldn't you?
I know. Like, go my sperm.
Yeah, so you listened to some good records this year. You know, some
A lot of
disappointing
good
records too.
Yeah, there's going to be that balance, and I look forward to
Yeah.
what 2013. Mike bought me so much music.
I am so poor right now.
I know.
So poor.
I know.
And you went to your first Warped Tour this year.
Warped Tour was awesome.
Yeah.
I saw Thrice, which was awesome.
Thrice's potential final show.
I started a podcast, which is awesome. No matter.
And we ended a band also at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think we did somewhere around
Yeah.
January. So that was the beginning of crappiness.
Yeah.
But on to Mike and I being in a band in the future.
Hey, if anybody wants to be in our band, please comment below. We need a guitarist, we need a bassist, and maybe a keyboardist. Who knows? If you play instruments, please let us know. 'Cause we want to play
and if
instruments
you have a
with
practice space, we'd love to join that too.
Yeah, this is for babies now.
I know. I don't think I can have a practice space in my house anymore. With
You
a
remember
baby.
when you first joined the first one, the Fallen, and my pregnant wife?
She was in utero, yes.
Yeah.
But as
We
soon
would
as the
practice in
baby
our living
came, we
room.
had to find a new.
That's right.
Luckily, we had our practice space.
That's
at
right,
Poop
yeah.
Alley. That worked.
Everything worked out.
Yes.
So on to a new year, folks.
Is
And-
Mike happy about anything that happened this year?
Yeah, I saw some great movies. I saw, The Walking Dead's been really good. Dexter's been really good this year also.
Someday Mike will
Pretty
buy
much-
me those DVDs.
Yeah, one day before it even hits retail. Who knows?
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, I've had wonderful times with every single time I hang out with my buddies. It's always a good time. And my daughter started preschool this year, so that's an
Ooh.
exciting time for us.
Very.
So it's been a good year. I look forward to the world ending on a high note.
Next week we'll
Next
see.
week.
Let's see how the podcast is recording after the
So,
apocalypse.
We're gonna go ahead and end this potentially last episode of The City with Mike and Adam and go into our sound offs for this week. All right, so sounding off in our very last sound off. Adam, can you review the last album that our listeners will ever listen to ever?
Oh yes, before the apocalypse.
Before the apocalypse.
And of course, these are albums to listen to during the apocalypse.
Yes.
So I've been listening to a band called We Came as Romans,
Mhm.
which I talked about earlier, being on
Intense
the
stuff.
list possibly for Warped Tour, as well as The Devil Wears Prada, not the movie,
No,
which
Anne
a lot of
Hathaway.
people get it confused for.
which was also confused for the book.
Right. There was a book, which apparently the band got the idea from the book and not the movie.
Yes.
From what
if
I
I was
read.
in a band, I'd get from anything.
But they read it they took the name without even reading the book, and then were surprised to find.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
it was confusing.
That was smart.
And apparently,
What the hell?
apparently this band is somewhat Christian. Devil Wears Prada.
They have Christian undertones to their lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
not. They don't sing about Jesus or anything.
So I've yet to been able to figure out any words that are being said on the first two albums.
wait, hold on. Did you mean you didn't like that song?
I think I like the one that went rah 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 rah.
That is an amazing song.
Okay.
It shakes me to my core every time I
It
hear
speaks so much to my inner being.
Yeah.
It just So I listened to what was it called? Dead Thrones.
Yes.
Is the first album. Plagues is the second one.
No, Dead Thrones not there. Dear Love, A Beautiful Discord is the first
Okay,
one.
Dead Thrones is later on.
Dead Thrones is their latest one.
Dear Love is the first one.
Yes, and then
So-
Plagues is the second one, which
so
I love a lot.
I've listened to those two, and I can't really say I know when one song ends and another begins.
I must say that I had that same problem when I first listened to
So
it.
I think I need to keep listening to even figure that part out.
Keep an eye on your iPod.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I can't even give them a number yet. I'm just okay, these are very metalcore albums.
Give them a 1 out of 1 since everything is one song.
Yeah. And I can listen to them all the way through without being oh my God, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
So I can,
they have melodic parts and mellow parts that kind of sprinkle in there,
but
kind of break it up a little.
Not like I don't know. I don't know what they're going for. What their purpose as a band is.
They're just
except to just
music.
get together and make noise and then be more famous than Mike and Adam will ever be in their entire lives.
Fuck you, Devil Wears Prada.
So
just saying.
There you go. I don't know how their later albums are. I'll figure that out over the coming weeks, I guess.
Yeah, they get kind of more streamlined. They have more focus now, and you can kind of tell what their genre, what they're kind of pushing for.
Okay.
There's more of a vision, a musical vision.
So, and then we came as Romans,
yes,
which is inching towards metalcore, but not as metalcore as Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, they have a dedicated, clean vocalist.
They're definitely heavy as fuck. They're very much in that, like, when I reviewed Axe Wound.
Yeah.
They remind me of that, but probably even more heavier than Axe Wound, I would imagine.
You think so?
So, yeah, because...
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess, yeah.
So, I mean, I enjoy it. I think I'm going to need to take my break from them and then reassess and figure out how much I like them. But I do like a couple of songs.
I was disappointed in their most recent album.
And that one...
But I wasn't expecting much.
Yeah, there's... I think I liked the first album more than the second one, but I don't know. There's nothing like that just says, yes, this is really, really good music.
This is the band I need to buy a shirt for.
Right. There's nothing like that. So, I don't know. It's been a little bit of a rough but very loud, ear-piercing week. At least like when people are like, oh, what are you listening to? I don't have to say something lame like, oh, the new Muse album. It's like, oh, I'm
listening to Train.
Yes.
I love it.
And the new Green Day. It's just like, so it's called We Came as Romans.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never heard of that one. Like, put this on. Like,
holy shit, Adam is fucking metal as fuck.
Exactly. You get a reputation when you listen to bands like that.
Right? He has a fucking tattoo of a drum kit on his fucking arm.
Of a guy who was in that band with the skeleton, because it was so much metal that his face melted away with the skin.
It ripped his skin apart. It was so fucking brutal.
So I'm gonna be listening to so much. I haven't decided yet.
And I just gave him $300 worth of music.
Me.
Yes, I bought him $300 worth of music right now.
So I don't know
got a
which
huge dump to deal with.
I'm going to keep listening to Devil Wears Prada this week. Maybe some future Warped Tour album.
Yes.
Maybe some As I Lay Dying.
Or Oh Brother.
Or Oh Brother.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like I said, that needs to be an entire week devoted to that album.
It's a really long record, but only a little bit of songs.
Yes.
Okay, so my sound off this week. Well, since the release of The Dark Knight Rises on DVD, everyone's wondering what Christopher Nolan is going to be up to next. Well, you may have already known
Swimming
that.
in pools of money.
Exactly. Well, when he's done with that, he's actually going to do some real work and work on the new Superman movie called Man of Steel, which had a trailer released this past week, and it's
about time
very good
he
trailer.
made another movie because we were really
Shut the
afraid
fuck
that
up,
he
Adam.
wouldn't. I'm just saying he did two of the three Batman movies.
No, all three of them.
All three Batman movies, and now he's just like, oh, I'm gonna make Superman now.
Well, he's producing Superman. He's giving the director of is Zack Snyder, who did 300 and Watchmen, and also Sucker Punch, which is not a very good movie.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the trailer's been released. It's showing more of the tone of the movie and the overall theme of Superman's soul searching and whether or not he should expose himself to the public, because he doesn't know if people are going to want an immortal God man in the public eye. So it's very existential, I guess. I'm looking forward to it. It comes out June.
Will he be growing up in Smallville, Kansas?
He will for the first maybe fifth of the movie.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Well, just as long as Christopher Nolan can continue neglecting his family and stay busy making millions of dollars working on these
Christopher, I'm hungry.
Yes, multi-million-dollar blockbuster movies that will just never, ever go away.
I wish he would I don't want him to have a reputation of being a superhero guy. Because he makes great movies. He made Inception, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And also,
if you ever need to take a nap, put on Inception.
Shut the fuck up, Adam.
Watching other people sleep will make you tired.
I'm going to change my list. My number one disappointment is Adam's movie taste.
Is Adam disliking Inception?
Yeah.
I liked it the first time. It was the second time I watched it where I was just like, I'm tired. But
it probably had a lot to do with the fact that you were tired when you watched it.
It was 10 o'clock in the morning. Why would I have been tired?
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for checking out this week's show. And please join us again next week. And we will once again be cutting through the fat of the news stories of the week for my friend Adam. And I am your co-host, Mike. And au revoir, folks, and make sure you go into your bomb shelters.
We'll see you after the apocalypse.
Yes. So those of us who survive, I'm planning on surviving. I've got my bomb shelter ready. I've got a lot of canned corn. I've got a lot of spam. A lot of spam. Spam is good. Apocalypse.
Spam is delicious.
It is.
I love it.
Especially
and if you're planning any mass murders this week, we highly suggest you choose not to do them.
You should probably lock yourself underground and have
until the
people
anger
bury
passes.
you. Yeah.
The anger will pass after a couple
When
of
you
hours.
realize that the Mayan prediction was bullshit, then
Yes.
you'll realize it, and your anger will just flow out. And we'll have an apocalypse episode next week.
And listen to some either happy music or angry music, whichever makes you feel better.
Listen to some music that we recommended on our top 9 albums 2 weeks ago.
Expand your mind.
Expand your mind. Listen to our podcast. Share our podcast. Bye, folks.
Bye.